Most people look at a guy running an excavator and think, that is just a laborer sitting in a machine. They have no idea that same seat can pay over $200,000 a year. Even stranger, unlike almost every high-paying job you can name, this one does not cost you a fortune to start. There is no 4-year degree, no crushing student debt. In a lot of cases, they pay you to learn. Heavy equipment operating is not one job, it is a ladder, and it might be one of the smartest money moves hiding in plain sight. This one is for Zed's Dead, who asked me to break it down. So today we climb every single level of a heavy equipment operator, from the apprentice who gets paid to train all the way to the owner whose machines make money without him, drawn simply. And stick around, because the last level is where operators stop selling their hours and start getting genuinely rich. Let us start at the bottom, level 1, the apprentice. This is where the story already breaks the normal rules of money. To become a doctor or a lawyer, you pay a fortune and go into debt for years before you earn a cent. To become a heavy equipment operator, you often join an apprenticeship where you earn while you learn. A brand new operator typically starts somewhere around $40,000 a year, often around $25 an hour, plus benefits. That is not huge money, but read it again. You are getting paid from day one to be trained on machines that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. No tuition, no debt, a paycheck. That is a very rare way to start a career. In a union apprenticeship, your wage is set as a percentage of the full rate, and it climbs automatically as you log hours. Start around 65% and step up every 1,000 hours until you are near the full rate. So the entire bottom level is really just a paid staircase, pulling you up toward the real money. Now, level 2. The Journeyman operator. This is the moment the apprentice graduates into a fully qualified operator and the pay jumps to match. A typical journeyman heavy equipment operator earns somewhere around $60,000 a year, with hourly rates commonly in the range of $38 to $65 an hour depending on the region and the work. And here is the lever that quietly makes this job so powerful. Overtime. Construction runs on deadlines, and operators are often working long weeks, 50, sometimes 60 hours. An operator on a good rate working those hours can push their real yearly pay well past $100,000 and up toward $130,000 without ever changing jobs. Same seat, same machine. The money came from hours and skill, not a fancy title. Level 3 is where location and a union card start doing serious work. The exact same skill is not paid the same everywhere. In high-cost, high-demand markets, and especially on union commercial and civil projects, experienced operators regularly earn $65 to $85 an hour. At the very top of the pay scale, the 90th percentile of operators earns over $100,000 a year in base pay alone before overtime is even added. So a skilled operator who is willing to go where the big projects are, the highways, the bridges, the data centers, the towers, is no longer just making a living. He is making serious money running a machine, and he still has no student debt to show for it. Level 4 is about becoming rare. The specialist. Not all machines are equal, and not all operators can run the hard ones. The operators who get certified on the most difficult and most dangerous equipment, like the giant tower cranes that build skyscrapers, become genuinely scarce. And scarcity is money. When only a handful of people in a city can safely run the machine your billion-dollar project depends on, you can name a serious price. These specialists sit comfortably in six-figure territory, and the rule is exactly the same one that runs to every trade. The rarer and riskier the skill, the bigger the paycheck. It is not about working harder. It is about being one of the few people who can do the thing that absolutely has to be done right. And now, level 5. The top of the ladder. The owner. Here is the secret that separates a high earner from someone who is genuinely wealthy. At every level so far, no matter how good the pay, the operator is still selling one thing, his own hours. When he stops, the money stops. The owner breaks that rule. He takes everything he learned in the seat, and instead of running one machine for a wage, he buys his own machines and hires other operators to run them. Now he is not paid for his time. He is paid for the work of a whole fleet, plus the value of the equipment he owns. An excavator, a dozer, a crane. These are $100,000 plus assets that earn money every day. They are on a job. A successful operator who builds even a small equipment or excavation business can earn well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and build a company worth millions in machines and contracts. He started by being paid to sit in someone else's excavator. He ends up owning the excavators. So step back and look at the whole climb, because it is one of the most underrated money ladders out there. You start with no debt, actually getting paid to learn. You become a journeyman and let skill plus overtime push you past 6 figures. You go where the rare, high-stakes work is, or you specialize on the machines almost nobody can run. And finally, if you want real wealth, you stop selling your hours and start owning the machines and the business. The one rule underneath all of it is the same rule that runs through every trade on this channel. You do not get paid for pushing dirt. You get paid for how rare your skill is and how expensive it would be if the job went wrong. The guy in the excavator was never just a laborer. He was standing on the bottom rung of a ladder that quietly climbs into serious money. Thanks to Zdead for the request. If there is a job you want me to break down level by level, drop it in the comments, and I might build the next video around it. And if you like seeing the money behind everyday life drawn simply, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.